Jelas kami ada darah Jawa, tapi nggak tahu dari mana. Kakek-kakek saya sebagai pelarian perang 100 tahun dahulu ke Malaya, terus ke Pinang, dan akhirnya ke Thailand. Because of Anglo-Semitic Treaty 1909 between Thai, at that time not called Thai yet, Siam King, and British colony finally settled, my province is given or divided to Thai territories. So because of that, I am now holding Thai passport. Walau bagaimanapun, dua negara yang nyaman sekali saya berada, yaitu di Indonesia, terutamanya kalau di Jawa. Kalau di Thailand saya sering mengatakan bahwa kami orang Thai Jawa. Kalau di Jawa saya mengatakan bahwa saya orang Jawa Thailand. Alhamdulillah, another city that I'm pleased always when I go there, that is China. Karena kakek-kakek saya sebelah ayah yaitu dari China. Because of that, I went to China. Utlubul ilma walau kana bisfisin. Saya ke sana mengikut hadis itu. Jadi S3 saya di China. Dan di sanalah saya dapat mengetahui sebenarnya umat Islam di China itu bukan 30 juta, 40 juta, 50 juta seperti mana yang dituliskan oleh pemerintah China, bahkan ratusan juta. Dan masjid-masjid di China itu, kalau tadinya bersama Pak Advisor to the Ministry mengatakan bahwa beliau baru saja dari Guangzhou. Sebutan bukan Guangzhou ya, walaupun Z tulisnya, Guangzhou, Nanjim, Guangzhou. Masjid di Guangzhou adalah masjid, terutamanya kalau menara itu dibenakan oleh sahabat Sa'ad bin Waqqas. Jadi umur masjidnya 1300 tahun lebih. Begitu juga di Beijing, masjidnya di Beijing 1300 tahun lebih. Begitu juga di Xi'an. So based on that, how related to my discussion, I believe in Islam, and I believe that Islam is the vehicle. Islam is the instrument. And I would like to say here that it is not only Islam, even Buddhism, even Christianity and some of the religion is the base for economic development. Okay, move on. So that's why the first question that we have to ask ourselves is, who am I? If we cannot answer ourselves, finally we will come to nowhere, come to nothing. But once you know that what religion you are holding now, who are people who are living besides you, and then you will know what to position yourself, especially in terms of economic. In terms of economic, I would like to say that Islam is not for Muslim, and the Quran is not for Muslim. The Quran is Alameen, and Islam is given not only for Muslim. Even my friend, my parents-in-law who are not Muslim, they are using and they are committing to the teaching of Al-Quran, even though they are not Muslim. As long as they are not doing whatever things, regarded or considered wrong in Islam. Okay, go on please. So, I try to understand before talking to ASEAN 4.0 and how ASEAN 4.0 become platform for the implementations of Islamic economics, Buddhist economic or Christian economic, in order to strengthen our economic ties among 10 countries plus ASEAN plus 3 and ASEAN plus some other countries more. So when ASEAN motto says one vision, one identity, one community, I try to understand from this point that is one vision is one aqidah. If we are talking about aqidah in ASEAN community, we do have 300 million Muslims who are holding the same aqidah. La ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah. We are not talking, the border, how important of the passport in order to cross the border, how your fingerprints is important. No. But once you are holding the same aqidah, I come to Indonesia, even though now I am having Thai passport, but I believe that when I perform ibadah, when I become Imam Allahu Akbar, I believe that Indonesian friends who are Muslim will pray after me. Right or wrong? When I am Imam, you will follow me. So it means that when we are talking about ibadah, we are borderless. We are not talking about frontiers. And then when ASEAN community having the motto saying that one community, that is in fact one ummah. How the ummah could strengthen ASEAN, or how the ummah finally not strengthening but defeating ASEAN or making ASEAN fail? Go on, please. Well, since my presentation will be a bit conceptual, not really, methodological presentation, so I will just ask you to come with me and understand with me the concept of how religious-based economy that finally brings us together and strengthen our community, our society and our region. Okay, look at this. I implement this kind of thinking in my campus since Patani University is in conflict area in southern Thailand. A lot of people are afraid of going there, but I got students from UK to come and do PhD with me. I got students from US coming to study. He's native American citizen coming to Patani University to study English, just because he's searching for Islamic English or English from the perspective of religious background, something like that. So I try to get students from all of our ASEAN communities to be in my campus, and I implement that. It works. I congratulate Prof. Entry from UNJ that bringing students from all over the world, most parts of the world coming together. Okay, go on, please. We don't have time. From that ASEAN, we can move to ASEAN +3, ASEAN +6, ASEAN, APEC, AMA, AMWE. We can go on and on with that. So I believe that because of having the same vision, same aqidah, we can move to the same ibadah, which is our identity. Then finally we can come with the strong community. Go on, please. Yes, teruskan. So, okay, go to prologue. Islamic economy is the economy for all. It is not only for Muslims. It's not only for those adherents of Islam. Changing of world demographical geography, it will be also my discussion, but we don't have that much time. Because in the past when we study geography, normally the geography and demography go together. We are talking about Europe. Then our mind comes, orang yang matanya biru, rambutnya perang bukan hitam. So this is our mindset of Europe. But today when you go to Greece, sometimes you cannot find cook in a restaurant who are European. Because a lot of Bangladeshi cooks working, Bangladeshi chef working in Greek restaurant now. Because of economic downturn that happened in Greece, a lot of them go to Australia now for betterment of their life. What happened then? People of the whole village from Bangladesh come and work in Greece. I went there, I just knocked the door of the restaurant to find halal food and said, Salaam alaikum, and somebody said, Wa alaikum salam. And many of them came, so okay, we are so happy that Muslims will come and eat our food. Even though there is no halal sign in front of the restaurant, but they can provide halal food. And they said that the whole of Europe now you can find Bangladeshi becoming cook and becoming, whatever kind of works that allow them to do. So it means that demography has changed. And one more example is that I went to Jordan, to Amman, and then I went to Bahrain, I went to many countries in the Middle East. I found that Chinatown is not just a product of China sold there, but Chinatown, product of China, plus people from China comes and do a lot of things. The constructions of buildings, and even they become sellers. I found the Chinese people speaking Arabic in Amman selling their products. I found they are speaking Malay in Vietnam selling their products. So geography and demography is something that we have to put question mark and do more work, more research. Because transnational migration that happened today is very interesting. I'm afraid of time now. And then because of, today Adri has mentioned, Dr. Fatani has mentioned that digital class or digital education that will happen between Adri communities. Belum, Pak. He wants me to finish faster. Okay, moving towards digital economy. And digital class, digital program, digital education, all of these will move you, will mobilize you to digital economy. And I believe that because of this digital economy that will move towards the transnational digital citizen. Now people move to one country to another country without carrying anything. You don't have to carry luggage anymore. if you can find cheaper clothes in another country, and you don't have to pay 20 kilo luggage with 1 million rupiah or 2 million rupiah, you don't have to pay that as long as you can find new clothes in Surabaya or somewhere else, and you just carry smartphone, you can be everywhere. In the future, I believe that there will be countries in Southeast Asia that start using non-passport or non-hard copy passport to move to each other. Okay, go on please. Ibu Dian, kalau habis waktu tolong kasih tahu ya. Okay, when it comes to religious-based economy, I would like to just focus to Islam. When I was a student of Tadika, or student of TK was Tika. Bunyan Islamu ala khamsin. Bunyan Islamu ala khamsin. Then we said what dalam bahasa? Islam itu berdiri di atas lima rukun. So when I'm trying to understand, when I'm getting old, not old yet, when I'm growing, I'm trying to ask why this hadith use bunya. Why bunya? Why not jala? For those who know Arabic, the Prophet can say jala al-Islamu ala khamsin, and the Prophet can say kana al-Islamu bina'un ala khamsa arkan. The phrase of the hadith can be like that. But why bunya? And the word bunya is in a passive form. It means that Islam is built, and building needs architecture of mind. Building needs engineering of mind. Building needs construction with need money. It means that Islam is a construction, and this construction you say shahadatain, and because of shahadatain la ilaha illallah wa Muhammad Rasulullah, it means what? It means you have to create, you have to establish education. Education from small boys up to PhD. How much we pay for education? That's why for rukun Islam yang pertama itu bagi saya itu adalah educational economy. 250 million of Indonesians. How much you pay for knowing God, knowing Muhammad? How much we pay for that? So that's why I said, just talking about educational economy, how much we pay for, how much can we generate income from education, and how much you can get people from outside Indonesia to study here just because to study in EIN, in UIN, and some others. Okay, go on. When we talk about salat, normally we are talking about salat on what? For rukun, haram, halal, makruh, mubah. Ini tak sah, ini sah, ini tak bagus, ini tak kena. But I would try to move your mind to think about salat is what? Textile economy. Because when you are going to salat, you are instructed to wear, untuk lelaki kan, untuk cowok itu kan auratnya itu, konsep of aurat comes. When concept of aurat comes, fashion design comes. Costume for praying comes. And how much Tanah Abang play the role of selling this kind of, not batik, pakaian untuk salat itu. So I try to understand salat not from halal haram or hak ahkam, but from textile economy. Next, siyam. For siyam, can you imagine in a country which Muslim is not majority, a country like Thailand, country like Laos, country like Vietnam and Myanmar in ASEAN community, Ramadan is what? Ramadan is food exhibition. In Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, in Ramadan, our non-Muslim friends come to taste halal food. They try to, try the traditional cham food in Cambodia, in Myanmar, in Laos, or even in Patani. And how much people pay for iftar? You pay for iftar, just half an hour, all done. Kita pergi ke toilet, semua done. But how much we pay? Then Muslim, 1.4 billion Muslim all over the world, berapa kita bayar untuk iftarnya? So that's why bagi saya siyam ini adalah food industry. Then next we go to zakat. We are talking about zakat. We are not a country where the prime minister is Muslim. We are not a country where we can manage everything on Islamic affairs or issues related to Islamic affairs. But yet we can pay zakat by ourselves because it is instructed by Rukun Islam by Allah. So in this case, it is social finance. Even though we don't have a government to mobilize, to socialize this financial system, but we do have our own Islamic system among the community, in the community, to mobilize social finance ourselves. So Muslim is by itself self-reliance. Okay, the last one, Hajj. Hajj is biasanya kita Hajj itu haram, halal, Hajj mabrur. But I want to move your mind to what? Hajj is economic platform for all. Annual fashion untuk jilbabnya, untuk apanya. So people are waiting for time that Hujjaj come back because they got ole-ole from Makkah, from Madinah. But finally, all the ole-ole made in China, made in Korea, made in what? Gak ada pun made in Indonesia. Kenapa itu? So that's why I want to change our thinking that in fact the economy can be mobilized from religious basis. Move on, please. Okay. So when we are talking about religious-based economy as base for economic and social cultural development, the principle of Islam as base for economic development should be come into discount, which we should come to discuss these issues. Not only teaching Rukun Islam for studying Islamic studies, but we have to bring Rukun Islam for economy, for some other things. Teaching of Islamic economic system which is applicable for both Muslim and non-Muslim. When we are talking, we are saying that Islamic economy bukan untuk orang Islam. Jadi yang bukan Islam akan merasai bahwa Islamic economy juga untuk mereka. So they will not be burdens. Like for example, Islamic Bank in Thailand. The MD, the managing director of Islamic Bank, since the conceptions of Islamic Bank, until now we do have 3 MDs, the first, the second and the third, all are non-Muslims and they can do well. Okay, the last one, I believe that this economic development based on religions will bring what? Baldatun tayyibatun wa rabbun ghafur. Not to produce Islamic State, not to produce separations of new country, whatever, for Muslim minorities, but either Muslim minorities or Muslim majority, our task is to produce baldatun tayyibatun wa rabbun ghafur. Next please. How many minutes more? Finish?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes?
Okay, stick with
Allahu
15
Akbar.
minutes.
Okay, go on please. Okay. Challenges for actualizing of religious-based economy is in fact our mindset, our worldview. We have to change our mindset, worldview. If not changing, just moving. Kalau nggak bisa change, nggak bisa tukar, kita bergerak saja. Satu step cukup, that's enough. Because when we move one step means that the degree is already 1 degree of 360. Okay, because of Islamophobia is also our challenge. Lack of education for future among Muslim population, and lack of initiative for Islamic capital system, lack of collective proposal for economic development among Muslim community. Go on please, terus Pak. This is also challenges because we are finding who is the winner. In Islam, kita tidak berebut untuk masuk surga. So don't produce your student to become number 1, number 2, number 3. But our task is to produce number 1 for all. How your student can get A all, and you should be happy if you can get A. You shouldn't be happy that you fail the student. When I was decan, when I was the dean, any lecturer who failed the student, he has to answer me why you failed the student, and you have to get ready what is your answer to God in the future, because once you fail him for one subject, it changed his future for 30, 40 years. Go on please. Yeah, this is also another challenges. Terus ke Pak. Ini juga satu challenge di antara umat Islam dan juga umat bukan Islam di ASEAN. Go on please. So finally we cannot go the road from the kereta from Cirebon nggak bisa sampai ke Jakarta. Kereta dari Jakarta nggak bisa sampai ke Bandung gitu Pak. Teruskan. But this kind of conferences, this kind of program finally bring down the wall and find the wall will become the bridge. So most of the research work now we are searching for the bridge to bridge the people, to bridge the community. Go on please. Once you bridge them, this will come. Helping each other, the Philippines, working together, collaborate with Thailand, Thailand with Malaysia, and then go please. Next. Yes, this is what I mean. Semua dapat nomor 1, semua dapat A, semua dapat winner. Champion is not only 3, but champion is for all. Yes, go on please. Yes, I'm not promoting gays, LGBT whatsoever, but I want to say that the young should respect the elders should give warm support. You know, go on please. Udah habis now. Yes, I believe that we should move the world together. Not the world is moving us, and not letting others to left behind. Go on, Abis. Yes. Epilogue. My conclusion is, Islam provides base for economic development based on Islamic teaching. Islam provides vehicle for economic development. Not only providing basis, but also providing the vehicles, like hadith just now. Muslims should be upper hands in economic, socio-economic development. Not always happy with receiving, but we should be happy with giving. Yes. Last one. Thank you very much in bahasa bahasa Inggris. Terima kasih bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Malaysia, bahasa Brunei. Okun bahasa Cambodia. Kopchai bahasa Laos. Kenyizu Tinbade bahasa Myanmar. Selamat po bahasa Prof Matero. And Kemon bahasa Vietnam. Last kali bahasa Thai Kop Kun. Sawadee krap.
Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to have the session of question and answer for the three keynote speakers today. To fulfill the curiosity with all the economic base, education and also Islamic economy, we are going to open 3 questions only for the first session. Okay, please. Say your name and also your institution. Okay, number 1. Okay, the first, the second, and then the third. Okay, please come.
My name is Nila Fitria. I am from University Al-Azhar of Indonesia. I want to ask the Professor Dr. Kamisah Osman. The first question is from early childhood education. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We go on to the second speaker question, please. Okay, say your name and institution.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Herlina. I come from Unswagati, Cirebon. The questions are for Mr. Matero. Even though economic is not my field, but I'm curious with your topic. The question is how to build trust so that people trust us. And the second is how to measure trust as a social capital. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Then go on for the third. Yeah, okay, please say your name and institution.
Thank you for this time. I am Panca Pertiwidayati. I come from Universitas Pasundan, Bandung. I question for Professor Sukri. Singkat saja. How to increase non-Muslim interest in Islamic economy? Thank you.
Okay,
How to increase. Yeah, increase. Okay, non-Muslim. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much for our friends, for the questions. Okay, in Malaysia, just now I also I have prepared I think 2 or 3 slides regarding STEM teaching and learning. So I think for most of us here are very familiar with the acronym S for science, T for technology, E for engineering, and for M for mathematics. Now, the situation in Malaysia, just like to share. Actually, the teaching of STEMs require the the educator or teachers, okay, to integrate, okay, the element of science with the teaching of maths, engineering and technology. This is actually to stimulate students to the highest level of the thinking operation. I think for most of us who are educators here are very familiar with the Bloom revised taxonomy. Okay, now we know that the highest level in the Bloom's revised taxonomy is to create. Okay, so in order to achieve those highest level of thinking operation, meaning that students are able to create, so we emphasize STEM teaching and learning approach primarily at the lower secondary as well as the upper secondary. Now, the movement we also have cascaded the movement into primary education. But as we could see, the integration approach is rather difficult to implement at the very early age, okay? Because in order for the students, for the children to be able to integrate all those 4 pillars, okay? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, they need to first acquire the basic concepts, okay, of science, teaching, engineering and mathematics. Now, what we did in Malaysia, mostly for the upper secondary and lower secondary, we implement STEM approach through project-based learning. Okay? Now, the students are given projects. For them to fulfill the projects, they will be segregated into groups, and through this project, teachers will meticulously plan the project in such a way in order to accomplish the project. Children need to integrate, okay, their knowledge in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. Now, your question is at the primary level. Okay, the situation at the primary level will be far different from the lower secondary, upper secondary level. Now, at the primary level, we have started, okay, emphasizing the teaching of science since at the very early age. Now, at the very early age, what we emphasize is the inquisitive mind, meaning that the students are given ample opportunity to explore their environment. And in this sense, what we emphasize is not the understanding of scientific knowledge, but the development of scientific process skills, such as the skills of observation, the skills of measuring, the skills of, hypothesizing, but in a very simple language. So we did not really emphasize the attainment of the scientific concepts or the understanding, but we emphasize the science process skill. Okay, this is why, as we could see, the movement in the United Kingdom, whereby at the very early age, students are being immersed by activities which will develop their science process skill and manipulative skill, not really the attainment of certain level of understanding of scientific concept. We emphasize and we give the students the true picture of what science really is by providing them activities which will stimulate them to explore their environment. So we emphasize more on the skills at the kindergarten level rather than the scientific knowledge itself. Okay, so I think you could see the difference between STEM approach at the primary level, at the kindergarten, and then subsequent to that, the primary, lower secondary, and upper secondary. Okay, I think I have helped you clarify your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the second question, is for you, Professor Montero.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The question actually is how will you evaluate trust and how you are going to measure trust? Okay, how to make the other organization. So that's why we are using Nahapiet and Ghoshal, because Nahapiet and Ghoshal is talking about the firm or the organization. It's not talking about the person. Because if you're talking about the person, means it's very difficult sometimes to trust. But when you trust an organization, an institution, then you trust it as really, you trust that organization, not the person. Okay. Now, in the case that I presented, the trust actually is prerequisite of the individual also, which I presented also. The trust really coming from the individual, but at the end, it's the organization who will enjoy that trust, not the individual. Because the individual will come and go. Okay, mind you, I was actually the one initiating that particular program. I'm not already part now of that program. So people, individuals will come and go, but the organization will remain. Okay? So that's why Nahapiat and Gushal really is the firm or organization that will be the one who will benefit the social capital. Now you might be asking how to account. That is also my question. Accounting, you know, I'm an accounting. Now, if you're going to look into the literature, there's no accounting for social capital. But when I reflected on that, probably in the future, that will be one of the areas that I will do as my study. Why? Because as I do the case analysis, as I answer the how, the mechanism of social capital, and the why is it that social capital will increase rather than deplete when used, when there is engagement? Why there is an increase of that social capital value? Let me cite that scenario. In my university, if we are going to set up our own social entrepreneurship center, it will require us 50 years to develop that. But since we have the partner who had already experienced for the last 13 years, that will definitely shorten our learning curve. That's a lot of savings. Another thing, before we engage that organization, that foreign university, we already set up and we have a brand identity already that we want to be branded as very strong in social entrepreneurship. Because our government in the Philippines assigned our university as Center for Entrepreneurship. We said, what entrepreneurship, what kind of entrepreneurship we are excellent at? So we said, probably we have to be identified as very good or excellent in social entrepreneurship. But when we enumerated or inventory our strength, we are not yet at that level. So we need somebody to train us, to give us the technology. So there you are. Before an engagement, you already know what you want, what you expect. And that is the Gushal and Nahapiat social capital. You should know what you expect. And what our expectation, what will be your obligation, what's the obligation of another party. It boils down to the second assumption of social capital, that can be accessed only if you have an understanding. It cannot be accessed by everybody, but the two of you only. But the benefit will be the social impact. It's not just the two of you should benefit, but the community should benefit because of your engagement. And that's the meaning of social capital. So it's very good. That question is very good. If you're going to look into literature, there's no accounting for social entrepreneurship, social capital. But I would definitely pursue that in the future, that there should be literature that will account for investment in social capital and accounting for social capital. Maybe one of us here will pursue that particular endeavor in the future. Thank you.
Okay, the last question is for
Yes,
Professor.
thank you very much for the question. In order to create the awareness or even to create platform for Islamic economics, I think we should come with the holistic approach. If we are talking about holistic approach here, I would like to go in line with Bloom taxonomy. Okay, at the level of cognitive domain, we need to produce more books, more textbooks, we would say. I would like to just give you an example. I graduated from International Islamic University, Malaysia, last 20 years. I mean, the first batch of political science. During my batch, when we are bringing textbook from Islamic political thought, we don't have textbook on Islamic political thought, but we do have conventional textbook on political thought, political history. At the same time, we do have books on Sharia, on Mu'amalat, and some other things, Siyasah Syariah. So what happened then? The university has the policy of asking professors to produce more books on integrated approach. So finally, we do have, these integrated books. on Islamic politics, or finally the kuliah of the Faculty of Economics, by not putting Islamic economics, but the book itself or the teaching itself is integrated approach. Well, when we do have books, we do have textbooks, then what we do need to do further is to produce teachers. So teacher training is very important. Teacher training at the level of thought, at the level of practice, must go in line with what we really want. Now, the need or demands for those who are experts on Islamic economics are very high in Thailand, or even in UK. When they open 5 non or interest-free banks, not to be called Islamic banks, but non-interest or interest-free bank in UK. 5 banks at the same time launched in UK. They are sending, demands for staff who really understand murabaha, mudarabah, and others. So, apart from producing knowledge, we need to produce people, teachers, lecturers. And the last one, we need to create awareness to show that, in fact, Islamic economics is not just to count numbers, but in fact, it is infrastructures of thought that finally can bring people to produce economic development. And for your information, especially in places of conflict like Thailand, Patani, or even Aceh, or even Mindanao, we used to come up together 3 universities, Raniri from Aceh, UIN Raniri, and Mindanao State University, and also Fatani University. 3 universities, we invite 3 rectors, sit down together in Thailand, and we are thinking, if we really want to solve the problem of conflict between state and non-state, or state and NGO, state and separatists, what should be things that should come first? Education. And what is among education? Economy. When they are getting better off in their daily life, then at the same time we feel that, okay, what they are doing is ibadah. When they are conducting their economic activities, it is in fact they are conducting ibadah, performing religious activities. So it goes together. They are doing ibadah, at the same time they are helping the nation to be built. So this is what we have to come with, the holistic approach in increasing or even in pushing Islamic economic to be one of the choice in order to bring the world back to what should be. Thank you very much.
Okay, audience, we have very interesting topics today, but because we don't have sufficient time to share more, we have to close. We don't open the second session. We are closing at 3 o'clock, and it is strictly 3 o'clock. Thank you very much for all. But before that, please give a very big applause to our keynote speakers. Thank you very much.
Okay, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, so please give one round of big applause once again for our second plenary session today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so continuing to the next agenda, it will be a time for coffee breaks. So we please you all to have your coffee break and snacks, and you may do asar prayer. But before that, let me inform you that the next agenda after coffee break, it will be the second parallel session, and it will be started at 15:13 until 70:30. And we would like to inform you also that the certificate will be given during the dinner times or gala dinner time. So please, you have to be waiting until the gala dinner, and then also the gala dinner will be started at 7 p.m. tonight. And I would also inform you about cultural visit. The cultural visit will be conducted tomorrow. For those who are interested to join for cultural visit, you may register yourself in the registrations area. The fee is about 200,000, and the place to visit will be Kraton Kesepuhan, Gua Sunyaragi, batik empal gentong, rumah karang, dan oleh-oleh khas Cirebon. And for those who are interested, you may gather tomorrow in the lobby of this Prima Hotel at 8 o'clock because city tour will be started at 8 o'clock until 16 p.m. So thank you very much. Don't forget to be your room for the second parallel sessions. Thank you.
Thank you.